Hi guys, it's Becky, and today I'm going to be doing something that's a little bit different if you're new to my channel. If you've been around for a while, you might have seen it before though. And that is that I'm going to be painting a painting with my watercolors to go with the jewelry that I'm making. My brother said the other day, he said, you know what would be a great idea is if you painted something along with your jewelry making on your video. And I was like, I've done that twice already. Um, and I have, but it's been a while, so I want to do it again. The last time I did it, it was back when I was still doing all of my tutorials and everything on the kitchen table with the light coming in from the side and everything, so it wasn't as great of a setup. And I will put the links to both of those projects in the description below if you wanted to go watch those. I did a summer sunrise with a bargain beadbox kit. I did the lavender lemonade painting with the lavender lemonade kit from Softflex. And today I'm going to do a birds of a feather painting with the birds of a feather design kit. And this is a Softflex design kit. And Softflex every month puts out a design challenge kit that it's got pretty much everything that you need to make something with it. I went ahead and added some check glass bird beads to this just to expand out what I can make with it. But I'm going to be making a necklace today using the items and bits and bobs from this. And I wanted to pull some colors from my little M.Graham travel palette that I've got here. To kind of echo the color palette that I have here and make a little painting in my sketchbook. This is a Balhong sketchbook. And we'll go ahead and I'll do the painting, and then while the paint is drying, I'll make the necklace, and then after the necklace is done and the paint is done, I'll come back in with my fine liner and I'll just do some details on the painting. So hopefully it'll be an enjoyable experience for all of us. But let me show you what colors I am choosing out of this palette to use. I've got them written down over here. And let me just, I want to point out the colors in here while I am swatching them. And I'm just going to be using this Flydom brush. I really love these brushes because it looks puffy right now, but after I wet it, you'll be able to see it comes to a really nice point, and it's got some good snap back. It holds a lot of water, and my favorite part about this is the acrylic handle, because even like the most expensive brushes, if they're wood, after time the wood will expand and contract with a lot of exposure to water, and it'll loosen the ferrule. So they're very inexpensive, and I'll put a link to those from Amazon. That's where I got these from, in my description below too. So the first color that I'm going to be pulling from both palettes is this bright berry kind of blue color, and that is going to be Ultramarine from my M.Graham palette, like that. And then the second color is this turquoise color. You can see it right there in this with these beads. And from the M.Graham palette, I'm going to get the Cobalt Teal because it's more of a turquoise color to me, like the actual stone turquoise, than a teal color. So I'm going to be using that. And then there's some gold tones in this kit. So for gold, I'm going to pull this nickel Azo Yellow. And then the big surprise for me when I unboxed this were these super duos that have the gold tone and this kind of cranberry red color. So for my cranberry red, I'm going to grab some of this permanent Alizarin Crimson from my M.Graham palette right there. And then there's also antique bronze color, and you can see that with the this little connector that I'm going to be using as a pendant for my necklace. So this antique bronze color I'm going to pull Burnt Umber from my palette. And these are the colors that I'm going to be using for my little painting. So let me move my beads aside so that I can get started on my painting. And this painting is going to be a super quick, super easy one. I'm just going to paint some little blob birds. And if you've never seen blob birds, basically making a blob of paint and letting it dry, and then you go back in and do details like feet and beaks with a fine liner. It's super easy. It's super cute. So I'm going to make some of those, and I'm just going to grab some water. I'm going to make a little blob right here. Just a round blobbity blob. I'm going to make a little lumpy blob up here on the top. I'm just putting that paint wherever I want. I'm going to grab my there we go. It's my Ultramarine. I'm just dropping the color into my blob of water. I'm going to grab some more water, and I'm going to make a little blob next to that. Little birdie blob. It doesn't have to look good. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be like on the same level as this. And I'm going to grab some of this Alizarin Crimson. I'm going to drop some over in the head and along the side. I'm just going to let that travel, go where it wants, do what it wants. And then let's get some more water. And I'm going to grab some teal, Cobalt Teal. We're going to drop that in over there, wherever we want that color to be. And you notice I'm leaving a little bit of space here for like a belly or something on this bird. Let's do a yellow bird. Oop, I forgot to put my water down first. That's okay though, because I'll just grab this yellow, this gold color. You know, maybe I want some tail feathers going on there. Let's grab some of this. Let's do a little tail feather. Some of this guy. Tail feather, a little more. Super easy, super quick. And I'm going to grab some more of this I'm just going to drop it in here. There, and I think with this bluebird, I'm going to want a bit of red here. All right. And then get more of our gold color. I'm just going to drop a little bit of color here on the side for a beak. It doesn't have to be a sharp beak. And it's still wet, so it's going to go ahead and do that. And I think with this guy, I might put a little bit of this here in the belly. They don't have to be like birds that exist in nature. They can be regular old birds. And I'm going to grab a little bit of this brown for beak right here. Yep. I like that. All right, now I'm going to grab my brown, my Burnt Umber. I'm going to load up this brush. And another thing with this brush is it holds a lot of water and it holds a lot of paint. So I can load it up. I'm just going to go like this. All the way along here. All right, so I've got my paint down. I'm going to move this aside, let it dry, And when I come back to it, we'll use our pen and draw in some details. And they'll be my birds. And I have this thing when I draw birds, or when I paint birds, like 50% of them always look angry. And I don't know if that's going to be the case with this or not. So we'll find out. We'll see if I actually can manage to paint some birds that don't look angry. So see how wet that is? See how the water's like shining off of it? I'm going to set this aside so it can dry. All right. You can dry over here. That's right. I want it to dry flat. Hold on. Yep, blob birds. And now I'm going to pull out my work mat, and that's another reason why I like having this on a tray, is so that I can pick it up, move it, and put it back when I want to work on it. So let's get our beads out. I'm going to be using the blue lapis wire that came in this kit, and I love this color, and I definitely want this to show in my design. And so I'm definitely going to be using these super duos, because it means that I can do like a 2-strand design and have my wire play a really big part in what I'm making. So let's get these out. I think that's going to be maybe enough. Maybe. Definitely want these smaller beads too. Alright, if I need more, I can go in and grab the rest. I'm going to put these over here. These are all of our round beads that came in the kit. Some of them were on a strand, some of them were in a little baggie, if you remember from my organizing video. And I think what I want is these dark blue sparkly beads. Some of these pinch beads. And a couple of these. All right, so not that many, but some. So we can go through all this, and then I'm using the feather charms, this TerraCast bird connector, and 2 different colors of jump rings that I had pulled out and stuck in the top of this for when I was showing this, and now they are being difficult to pick up. Alright, now, because of the way that these are turned on this, I need 2 different jump rings in order for this to dangle correctly, and that's why I grabbed 2 different colors of jump rings for these, and it'll pull together the 2 different types of what is the word that I'm looking for? Mixed metals. That's it. So we've got mixed metals going on because we've got the brass, we've got the gold, and so I've got gold and brass jump rings to tie this all together with that. And let me go over the tools that I'm going to be using. I am going to be using some 2x2 crimp tubes that came in the kit along with this wire. And to crimp them, I'm using the magical crimper, which makes the crimp into a nice little round ball, and you don't need crimp covers for it. Got some pliers. These are just tweezer nose pliers, and I'm going to use them for opening and closing these jump rings. For the most part, we're just going to be using the things that came in the kit. I think the jump rings are pretty much all I added for this. So I'm going to hook one jump ring onto my feather charm, close it, and I'm just using this to hold the jump ring while I open it. And I'm going to open up my gold jump ring. Hook this one on, and then hook this one onto one corner of this connector. And this connector is going to be like the focal, and I want it to sit kind of square so that these are both hanging from here, and then the necklace goes up from here on either side. And I'll show you in a minute how we're going to get started with that. All right, so we've got focal 1, and I was totally right. It hangs actually the wrong way around. I need to turn my feather around because I've got it hanging the wrong way. Let me do that with the brass jump ring. There you go. Let's put the other one on. I just had to think about how it was going to hang before I connected it. All right. There we go. So I've got my 2 feathers hanging down, birds of a feather. And now I want to start connecting one end of my wire to this. And because I'm going to be doing a 2-wire design, I'm going to cut off see. Yeah, that should be enough for that half. This is about a 12-inch mat from here to here. So if I lay it across like that, this is about 24 inches, but I'm going to be doing one side at a time with these, and I'm going to have both of these strands being active at the same time. So I'm going to put the connector right here in the middle of this wire, and I'm going to grab one crimp tube. I'm going to put both ends of my wire through the crimp tube, push this down so that it's about there. I want there to still be some movement, so I'm not going to tighten it up any more than that. I am going to crimp right here though, and I'm going to use the magical crimper. If you've never seen it done before, there's this concavity on the inside of the magical crimper. It's not magic, it's science. Anyway, what it does is you put the 2x2 crimp tube. It only works with the with this size of crimper. It only works with the 2x2 crimp tubes. You want to put that right there inside the concavity. When you squeeze it, it'll flatten it out like it's ravioli with these pointy bits on the side. So then you'll turn it, squeeze it again, and then turn it and squeeze it again, and then turn it and squeeze it again. And every time you rotate it and then squeeze, it's going to flatten down those pointy bits, so you're left with a nice round ball of crimp. And that's why you don't need to put a crimp cover on it, which is great because I'm terrible at crimp covers. I am not good at that. Not at all. All right, so now I can start adding some beads to both of my strands. So I'm going to grab, and I'm just probably going to be doing this at random. I'm going to grab some of these round beads on one side. Let's do 2 small ones on that side, 1 large one on this side. And then I'm going to put both of these ends through a different hole in the Super Duo. Boop, like that. And this way, as I build up, you'll still be able to see the wire. You don't need as many beads as you might a different way or a different time. So let me just grab a couple of these smaller beads, the turquoise, this other blue, this side. Maybe this one then. And then we'll put the larger one on this one. So, because you've got some 3mm and you've got some 4mm beads. All right, and now everything that I do on one side, I'm going to want to do on the other. So I'm going to divide these up. So that we are even. So now I'm going to put both of these ends through one of these larger beads, going in the same direction, like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put 2 beads on one side, 1 bead on the other, put it through a Super Duo, 2 beads on the other side, 1 on the other, and then we're going to go through a larger bead. And we'll just keep going up here like that until we are to the length that I want it to be. There are some larger beads that I can pull out of the box if I need to lengthen it, but it shouldn't actually need to go that long. Ooh, you know what I might do? Am I going to use the pinch beads? No, I don't think I'm going to use the pinch beads. The pinch beads will be used in a different design, I think. Yeah, I just decided that. Like, I got them out thinking I'd be using them, but I changed my mind. Because you can always change your mind. This design is all about the colors that are in this box. The blues and the reds and the golds. So we've got 2 on this side. All right, and the speed this is going, that paint is definitely going to be dry by the time we get to it. All right, now let's put one of my sparkly guys on here. How about this pave bead? Both of these going in the same direction. There we go, like that. I'm just going to keep going up till I run out of room, or I run out of beads, one or the other. Yeah, this way, with all the spacing, you can still see the blue lapis wire, which is one of my favorite colors of this wire. I was really happy that we got this with this one. Come on, turquoise, light blue. This one. I'll do that again. A little bit more. Now, whatever I do on this side, I'm going to attach another strand of wire and do it on the other side too. So don't worry, I'm not going to do all of that on camera. I'll do some of it off camera, and we'll come back to meet up once I've got that all done so I can show you how to finish it. I think I'm going to grab the lobster clasp that came in this box and use that for a closure. Why is that not going through? It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. These smaller beads, I'm having a little trouble with the holes, but we'll get there. But yeah, Super Duos were a great addition to this kit. A great addition. It's not paving. You know what? I have some more of these rondelles in the kit. So let me pull out a couple more so we can continue this necklace all the way up. And again, if I do it on this side, I have to set this aside for my second side. It's entirely possible that I might need to get those in there. We'll see. Check the length. It's almost to the length that I want it. Y'all know I don't like super long necklaces on me. I like them to hang out just a little bit below the collarbone, above the décolletage. This end is being really awkward to get in there, so I'm gonna have a little more fun if I cut off the funky end of that. Smooth that out. getting somewhere. Hold on. Because you know how I was saying, whatever I do on one side, I want to do on the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I'm gonna definitely have enough for that. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So, you know, I didn't quite get all of these out of here. I'm probably going to be close to done with these soon. Because I may be running out of some of these smaller beads. I'm just making sure I have enough for both sides when I do this. Do a fit check. All right, now 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I've got 10 of those over here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2, 3. I think what I'm going to need to do here is go ahead and put a bead stopper on and do the other side and see where that lands me, since I want to make sure that everything is even on each side. So I'm going to stick a bead stopper on here on this side, and I'm going to pull off some wire, and I'm going to do the exact same pattern on this side, and I'll meet you right back here. So now I have both sides where I left the first one. I finished up the other one to the end, and I've got about this much more room that I need to fill with some beads before I can put a clasp on. And that's about 2 inches worth of space. So what I'm going to do, and another good thing about doing it with these 2 beads, is that you don't need a ton of beads to fill that amount of space. So I don't have any of these like 4mm beads anymore, so I'm going to be doing this all with the 3mm beads. So I'm just going to put 1 turquoise bead, 1 of the small blue beads, and a turquoise bead on the other one. And everything that I do on one side, I'm going to want to do on the other. Oop, where are you going? So I've got these 3 beads over here on this side, and then my super duo. And that's why I divided up the beads, so I've got one side and the other side so that I can make sure that I have enough. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to put 1 turquoise bead on this side. and then a blue and turquoise bead on the other. And then I'm going to do another superhero right here. All right. And then just going to finish this off with, actually, let's just use all 4 of these beads right here at the very end. 1, 2 on that side, 1, 2 on the other. Let me add some beads on the other side and we will check to see if that is the size that I want it to be. And I can also make a larger loop for the closure on one side if I need for there to be more room. So let me get my bead stopper on this side. And we'll do this with the other one and then we'll check our length. This isn't going to be exactly the same because I don't have that many of these blue beads. That's okay because I've got plenty of the turquoise ones. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's gonna fit just fine. That's gonna fit just fine. All right. Let me get my clasp attached to one end. I'm gonna need my couple of these. And this lobster clasp. I always check lobster clasps before I use them. I've never had a problem with the ones that they include in these kits, but I have had problems with other ones, other places, other times. So I always check just to be sure. All right, so to get this clasp attached, I'm going to put the crimp tube on both strands. I'm going to slide it down there. And then I'm going to take one of these ends and put it through the clasp. The strand that the clasp is on, I'm going to bend it back around and put it through the crimp. And then I'm going to go ahead and crimp this here. And I am fine with there being all this space here. It gives the beads a little more room to move around. I'm just going to crimp this here with the magical crimper, make my ravioli, and then open and close this and rotate it between each of the opening and closings to make my ravioli into a meatball. Then I'm going to cut my excess wire from either side. Of that. Right, and the other end is going to be basically the same, except I'm not going to be attaching a clasp, I'm just going to be making the loop. So let me do that on this side, and I'm going to want the loop to be a little bit on the big side, which is going to be great for being able to clasp it. So let's find both of my ends and put my crimp tube onto both strands. I'm going to slide that down. Make sure it is about even right there. And then one of these I'm going to bend back around towards the crimp tube. I said I wanted the loop to be a little bit on the big side. I think this is going to be a good size for my loop. Right there. And now I'm going to crimp. Cut off my excess wire. I think we're going to do earrings next with this kit, but not today. Today I'm doing art. I'm just double checking that. Oh yes, it's perfect. That is the perfect length. That is exactly the length that I wanted. There we go. So I have a finished necklace, and now I'm going to go grab my painting, which is completely dried. So let's stick this guy over here. And now I'm going to grab my pen. This is a Kuretake Zig Mangaka 005. It's a very fine line kind of a pen. And I'm just going to use it. Hold on. It is dried out for some reason. I'm going to switch to a different pen. Which is something you can do. There we go. Alright, I've got a Faber-Castell. This is a 0.1. I'm just gonna put a little bit of feet down there. I'm gonna make a little eyeball. I'm gonna just define these beaks a little bit better. And some feathers. I'm just really happy that so far my birds don't look angry. Because I am very good at drawing angry looking birds, not on purpose. It just usually happens that that's how they end up looking. So there we go. We've got our birds of a feather necklace and a birds of a feather painting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you wanted to paint along with me, again, I used the M.Graham travel one that I had, but if you've got a nickel Azo Yellow, permanent Alizarin Crimson, or at least a nice darker cool red to go with that, the Cobalt Teal was what made this for me because it pulled out more of this turquoise color. But you can mix the turquoise if you've got like a phthalo blue and a phthalo green, and then just water it down really well. You can do that. And then just ultramarine. That was this color right here. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you on the next one. Let me know if you want to see me do more art with my jewelry, because it's something that I kind of enjoy doing. It just takes a little bit longer, and you know, maybe it's something that you enjoy. Bye.